Hello, everybody, and welcome to another session of Live with David Lewis. I am your host. I hope I've clicked the right buttons and you can all hear me. Very glad to have you with me today. Today is Wednesday, August 3rd, and we've got a great show today. Today, we're going to talk about how to solve the you problem. A lot of us don't think about us as being the problem. We've always tried to find blame and put blame on somebody else. Hold on, I'm just going to rearrange my screen here. There you go. So the first thing we have to understand is that sales is not a get rich overnight proposition. It's a cultivating career. If you plant the seed today, if you water the seed, if you cultivate the seed, you'll eat for a lifetime. But you have to do those things. You have to plant, you have to water, and you have to cultivate. Many salespeople, unfortunately, are not willing to wait for success to come. They give up too quickly. They're impatient. They want everything right now. Well, guess what? Sales does not work that way. Sure, there is some instant gratification when you sell a car, and sure, you can get hired as a salesperson on Monday and sell a car on Wednesday. So there is some instant gratification, but the long-term success comes over time. If you want it right away, you're going to have to look for a different kind of industry to be in. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you 13 areas that are the you roadblock to success. And then when I'm done, I'm going to share with you one really, really good idea that you can use that will help you extend your career and make a lot of money. So the first one is sometimes you're just not letting yourself fail. You have to fail to succeed. Many salespeople leave the business before they get a real chance, and that's painful and scary. But the truth is, success only comes through failure. Einstein said, it took him 10,000 tries to develop the light bulb. He had 10,000 failures before he had that one success. He just never gave up. So many of us give up right before we're ready to become successful. Number two is a roadblock is you're not thinking about the big picture. What is the big picture? Less than 50% of salespeople make a follow-up call after the sale. They don't see it as a sale. They don't look at it as a customer for life. They see it as a sale today. And that's what creates an 8, 10, 12 car per month salesperson. Number three is you don't connect with the why of everything. We live in a busy world and there's lots of information coming at us daily. It's easy to lose sight. We have chosen this path. Why do we sell cars? We sell cars to make money, for a better life, for us, for our family. Whatever the reason is, you have to reflect on those reasons. From time to time, you have to look at why you're doing this. Keep your focus, keep motivated, keep the right mindset. Number four is you haven't challenged yourself to think bigger. And this is a big thing for me. You got to think big. You got to think successful, okay? You got to go beyond yourself. What's the whole truth? Are you willing to outwork everybody else? Are you willing to sacrifice what needs to be really successful? Are you satisfied selling only 8, 10 cars a month? How about this? Do you have a middle-class mindset or $1 million mindset? If you want to be big, you have to think big, and that's really important. The next one, number 5, goes right in with this one is you're not surrounding yourself with the right people. If you want to be a leader, surround yourself with a leader. If you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people. If you want to be a great salesperson, surround yourself with great salespeople. But if you want to be a failure, you have to surround yourself with negative people, and you'll eventually become a product of that environment. Let me give you an example. Let's say there's 5 people in a group, and 3 of the 5 people are negative. They're complainers. They're excuse makers. They're unsuccessful in everything they do. 2 of the 5 are positive. They're successful. They're energetic. Well, you know what eventually happens to those 2 people? They become like the other 3 because they listen to that mindset. You have to surround yourself with the right people. Number 6, you don't have a daily mindset practice. A roadblock is you don't think and practice like you want to be successful. You got to do this every day. You got to challenge yourself to work through resistance and fear. Success or failure takes place in the mind first. This is what you need to change. You got to think it that way. A lot of us don't prioritize our personal development. Ask yourself this question. How often do you practice? When was the last time you role play? How can you expect to be great if you don't practice? Great athletes practice still every day. If you're a professional football player, you've made it to that level, you're good. Why practice every day? Because practice makes perfect. And that's important. Another roadblock is you're too focused on the outcome. Step back, come up with a purpose, and look at your journey. For example, when it comes to monthly sales goals, Are you measuring your performance or just the outcome? Are you saying, okay, well, I sold 15 cars? Or are you measuring how you got to 15 cars? For example, how many demos do you need to do to sell X amount of cars? How many write-ups do you need to have to close X amount of deals? If you don't have this, you have no goal, and all you have is a wish. Why? Because you're only focused on the outcome, not how you got there. And that's really, really important. Number 9 is you're not investing in yourself and in your dream. Remember, it's your dream, not my dream, not your customer's dream, not your fellow salespeople's. It's your dream. Put your money where your mouth is. Invest in outside training, video, seminars like you're doing now. People come to me all the time and they say, well, what do you think of this trainer or that trainer? I say, they're all great. They all have something valuable to teach. You just have to filter what you feel is valuable. It's your business. Invest in it. Number 10 is a lot of us don't ask for help. That's the first thing that needs to be. There's no shame in asking someone to help you. Nobody knows everything. They always say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Asking for help is a sign of humility. Humility is a key ingredient to success. Number 11 in our roadblocks is you aren't managing yourself like the asset you are. You're all you have. Take care of you first. If you're not okay, you can't make anybody else okay. And that includes the way you eat, sleep, drink. And I'm going to talk about that in number 12, which is you're not developing customized habits that allow you to perform at a high level. Consistency wins every single time. Habits help you stay consistent. The number one habit you should adopt ASAP, again, goes back to daily role playing. Become an expert. I always struggle with this. There's 3 objections we get when we try to close a car deal. The price or payment is too high. You're not giving enough for my trade. Or I want to go home and think about it. How, as a salesperson, could you not be an expert at those objections? But there are other habits you have to have too. You have to have good eating habits. You got to get enough sleep. You write down 5 things every day that you want to succeed at. Do something positive. Invest in you. And number 13 is you're not leveraging all of you. This includes, but not limited to, your skills, your experience, your unique talents, your interests. If you want to succeed, it's all up to you, and you've got to do it on a regular basis. Don't forget the definition of insanity. It's doing the same things over and over again, but yet expecting different results. If you're going to follow the same sales process and you keep selling 10 cars a month, well, guess what? You will continue to sell 10 cars a month. But if you're willing to make those changes, you can sell more. So those are the 13 roadblocks to success. Now let me give you the idea, and this is really important. And I struggle with salespeople that have been doing this for a long time that never did this. Think about this. You sell 10 cars in your first month of business. You had a great month. Now you stay in touch with those 10 people. How do I think you should stay in touch with them? I think you should call them every 6 months and remind them of regular scheduled maintenance, oil change, tire rotations, every 6 months. You know how I feel. I'm not big on asking for personal references. I'm not big on asking for referrals. Can 3 people I can call. If you do a good job, they'll give you those people. They'll tell those people to come and see you, and they'll come back and buy a car from you. So think about this. If I sold 10 cars in my first month and I stayed in touch with every one of those 10 people every 6 months, you would think in 3 to 5 years, 2 or 3 or 4 of them would come back and buy another car from me. Now I'm selling 14, 15 cars a month. If I did it again, another 3, 4, 5 years, I'd pick up another 3, 4, or 5. Now I'm selling 19, 20 cars a month, and so on. Literally every 5 years, I should be adding 5, 6, 7 cars a month to what I do. That's step 1. 30 years, I should be selling 30, 40 cars a month. But let's go a step further. You really, really, really want to make the problem of you go away? Consider this. You don't sell everybody a car. Let's say that Mr. and Mrs. Smith come in and you're a Honda salesperson and they decide to buy a Toyota. They just didn't like the Honda, like the Toyota better. It's building that relationship. Remember what I told you in the very beginning. You plant the seed today, you water the seed, and you cultivate the seed, and you'll eat for a lifetime. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Jones don't expect to ever hear from you again. They didn't buy a car from you. But what if you still called them every 6 months? You know they bought a Toyota. And then in 6 months from now, you called and said, hey, how's the Toyota running? Great. Just like Honda, Toyota recommends an oil change and a tire rotation every 6 months or whatever it is. We love to be the ones to service your car. We service all makes and models. Whether the customer comes to you or they go back to Toyota, you've made a contact. And what if you stayed in touch with that customer still every 6 months? A couple of things are going to happen. Might they, at the end of their term of owning that car, want to come and buy a car from you? Possibility. Maybe someone says to them one day, and we're thinking about buying a car. They're going to say, hey, you got to call this guy over at the Honda dealership. Whatever it may be, it's that seed. It's cultivating the seed today. It's watering it and making sure that it grows. You'll eat for a lifetime. Now, a lot of you will say, well, why would I call someone that didn't buy a car from me? Because again, you're cultivating that seed. Seed spread. And now you have a lot of people who know who you are. Wouldn't it be great to go out for dinner at a local restaurant and know that 30, 40, 50% in that room know who you are, know what you do, and know you sell cars? If you want to be successful, and I mean truly, truly, truly successful, the first problem you have to solve is the you problem. Solve the you problem, and you're going to be a great success. So, with that said, I'm going to end today's session. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I hope I've given you some great things to think about and consider. And I look forward to seeing you again in the future on another session of Live with David Lewis. Bye-bye, everybody.